Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Phil Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast.
I love Ben Reilly.
Why, thank you, Little Hellfire. Hello. That's right. You heard the intro, and it's the end of the month, kids. It's time for another Scarlet Tips episode featuring Scarlet Spider. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, at the end of the month, it is...
Hello, everybody. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
It's Ray. I'm looking forward to another Ben Reilly action adventure series. My gosh. It peaks and troughs, Phil. That's all I can say about this run.
Yeah, a lot of ups and downs. Man, you can tell Ray's excited because, Disney Plus Day was just like 2 days ago and we got more Moon Knight sightings. So.
Oh, very happy. But also, Scarlet Spider's getting a comic book series in the new year. It's things are looking up for us. We just need Quasar.
Yes. Oh my God, did you see Eternals yet?
Yeah. I haven't listened. I haven't listened to your review yet, so I'm not sure what you guys thought. But yeah, what did you think?
I mean, I liked it. I thought they could have edited it down a little so it was a little shorter. But no, you mentioned Quasar, that appearance at the end. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Is Star Fox. But I'm like, really? We're getting him before Quasar?
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
but
it's nepotism. It's like, oh, Thanos' brother.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I really enjoyed Eternals. I actually didn't find the length of it a problem like that. It was maybe because everyone said, it's slow paced. So I just went in to enjoy, no real expectations. And that was pretty solid, especially Dane Whitman. Come on. Well, that's awesome.
Or maybe just like a little bit less of the flashbacks, maybe a little bit more of like the present day stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chloe Zhao had 10 members who introduced to us. So I think she did a really good job. And she managed to squash it in. I mean, it is a long movie, but she managed to give each of them at least something that you'd care about. I mean, even the likes of, Gilgamesh, the ones that didn't kind of get as much screen time, there's still enough there for you to latch onto. So, yeah, anyway.
Oh, definitely. And have you been reading the current Amazing Spider-Man's, Ray?
I have 75, 76, 77. Yeah. I'm a lot. 78 hasn't come out, has it?
Yes, it has.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've still got to read that then. But no, I've been enjoying it. Really fun. I didn't know, but I mean, I guess the comics that we'll cover now, I didn't know that suit was already, a 90s suit. It looked awesome then. I thought it was a new suit, and it's really cool. Ben Reilly's Spider-Man suit, with it.
Oh yeah.
The extended spider across the shoulders and all that, and he's got like some fingers are blue, some are like a red webbed. It's a pretty cool suit. So, I'm enjoying it. Yeah,
I think they tweaked it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, and for those of you who should join our Patreon, we talked to Kelly Thompson all about this Spider-Man stuff, which I'm sure Ray listened to because he is a Patreon. He's a patron.
I am. Yes, I am. But yeah, it's really cool. Peter, again, I haven't seen 78, so I don't know, but Peter in dire straits, in the hospital, Ben, and just figuring out what Beyond's all about is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and at the end of the last Miles Morales, the Beyond Corporation showed up and told Miles, they're like, yeah, you can't be Spider-Man. No, you're in. Yeah.
Ah, wow. They're really taking ownership of that identity, aren't they?
Yeah. Cool. So I think it even says at the end of that, but in 81, I think that's when Miles jumps in. I think him and Ben are going to have a conversation. And not a civil conversation either.
Oh. That'll be good. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to see also again the comics that we're about to review. The color of Ben's hair. I mean, it's always. I think before when we saw it last, it was a mistake or something, like it's a mistake in coloring. But I think here in the comics that we're about to review, it very clearly states that he's done something. To his appearance. Yeah. So.
All right. Did you want to jump into these?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the fun starts in Sensational Spider-Man number 0. With
Dan Jurgens.
Yes. Writer and penciler Dan Jurgens.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Look at Ray, be like, yeah, I know Superman. Yeah, I know Dan Jurgens. Yeah.
Better say no, it's well drawn.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Oh, writer, penciler Dan Jurgens, inker Klaus Janson, colors Gregory Wright, letterer Richard Starking's Comic Craft, and editor Bud Budiansky. It's titled Ultimate Commitment. Where's the? Oh yes, January 1996. So,
and it's got a holographic cover. Or what do you call it? It's not holographic. It's the one where you tilt it.
Yeah, is that the lenticular or whatever? Is that what they call that?
Oh, okay, yeah, lenticular. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting close, man. We're in the last year of this original Clone Saga. Because I know you're waiting to get to the Peter David stuff and everything, but Kane had a Scarlet Spider series before that. Should we do the Kane series also?
Yeah, I was about to ask you what's in between. Yeah, happy to go the Kane series.
I think it's like 25 issues. So.
Okay, yeah. I know the Peter David. That can wait only because no rush. I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm gonna savor that when we get to it. So.
Oh yeah. All right, so this one, visiting the graves of his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, Ben Reilly thinks about how May used to tell him every morning was the first day of the rest of his life. He always thought it was a little corny until now. Ben has recently learned that he is the real Peter Parker and not a clone, giving him a new purpose in life. He wishes that his aunt and uncle were still alive today, as he could really use their advice. He remembers how they raised him as one of their own after his parents died. He also thinks about how a radioactive spider changed his life forever, making him become Spider-Man. However, at first, young Peter Parker used his powers to find fame and fortune. Okay, we're going through the origin. Take a drink, Lil.
Yes.
That all changed when he refused to catch a burglar who went on to murder his Uncle Ben. Now really take a drink, Lil. Still feeling the guilt of letting his Uncle Ben down, Ben Reilly has decided to become Spider-Man again and make up for that one moment of inaction. I thought it's because the Cyber Slayers the Master Programmer and everyone ruined his name. Can't keep it straight.
Wait,
what?
Nothing. I thought that was drop worthy. Anyway.
I got some new drops. I don't know if you heard them yet.
Suck it, Russell.
What was that?
Suck it, Russell.
Oh. Doesn't Russell have a presented?
I tried, man. The audio wasn't good.
Talking about me is so natural for Ray.
Oh, jeez. Thanks, Lilith.
We were busy boning.
What?
Bigger is better.
Oh, well, I'm sure she says that every second sentence.
That's a mouthful. Look at my butt.
I've heard that a few times.
She's either shocked or sometimes she's like, I don't remember that. How drunk was I?
Yeah.
All right. That's when Ben's spider sense begins going off, alerting him to a mugging happening outside of the cemetery. Leaping up into the trees, Ben tries to snare the thief with his web shooters. Unfortunately, he is out of webbing and has to tackle the thief to stop him from escaping. After stopping the mugger, he is thanked by the flower vendor who is robbed. That's when Ben bumps into Anna Watson, the aunt of Mary Jane, Peter Parker's wife. She mistakes Ben for Peter and asks if Mary Jane is with him. Playing along, Ben tells her that Mary Jane is already in Portland and that he is in New York closing up some loose ends. He then tells her that he came to pay his respects to Aunt May and Uncle Ben. However, Anna has noticed Ben's tattered clothes and scruffy appearance and asks if everything is okay. Peter assures her that they are and quickly makes an excuse to leave. As he catches a bus, Rowley feels terrible for deceiving Anna Watson.
You bastard.
Oh! Again, what are you supposed to say? Hey, I'm a clone.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. And he's got to keep it cool, you know.
Yeah.
He's got to lie, you know, so.
However, this is going to be a constant problem as long as he and Peter Parker look similar. This causes him to think of how crazy his life has been over the 5 years. You know what? I get it. It's a comic book, but it's like, in a city of 8 million people, he's really going to run into people who know Peter every day.
Yeah, it's true.
Stay away from the bugles. Stay away from...
True. I mean, but still, I think you're right. It is a big city. I think it is a valid enough excuse. I mean, you wouldn't want to be you wouldn't just want to be walking around with some... And Peter's... Isn't he semi-famous? Maybe in journalistic circles because of his photographing of Spider-Man. But hasn't he got a high-profile wife in Mary Jane as well? So kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah.
He did put out a book of his pictures. Yes, that's true.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, after a battle, he thinks about how crazy his life has been over the last 5 years. After a battle, his clone, thinking he is the real Peter Parker, dumped Ben's body in a smokestack, thinking him dead. He lived on the road for 5 years until Aunt May's health went sour. He then re-entered the life of Peter Parker and later became the Scarlet Spider. Now that Peter is retired as Spider-Man, Ben has stayed in New York to try and figure out the next stage of his life. Okay, kids, if that's not crazy enough. Elsewhere...
Yeah, so sorry, Phil. So everything up to then is this huge recap. I mean, Lilith would be dead drunk by now from the just repetitive information. But I guess it's a big size. It's Spectacular Spider-Man 0, right? So
yeah,
the obligatory recap. But yeah, he would start to get something new, something fresh.
I wonder if they were just recapping in case they got any new readers, but it's like, who doesn't know Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows Spider-Man, but I guess better explain. Oh, I'm Ben.
Yes.
I'm the original, but I call myself Ben Reilly.
Yeah.
They just made a bigger mess of things.
I was about to say it's a tangled mess, so they're trying to explain the tangle. But yeah, you're right.
You barely get out of there with your life.
Oh, that sure was close. I didn't get manhandled.
Maybe a little. All right. Elsewhere, I can already hear Lilith rolling her eyes. Elsewhere, a mysterious man arrives at a closed-down movie theater. He commands a robot named Shirley to break the lock on the front door and goes inside. Inside, he finds an alien landscape and wonders what he has gotten into. That's when his mystery employer's face appears in a massive holographic projection. He tells the man named Armada that he is being hired to break into the Neuroport complex and recover the digital imagery transmission chip for him. Once he has the chip, the mysterious employer will have what he has long craved.
The DIT chip.
That's what he's so he's been craving chips? Meanwhile, Ben Reilly finds himself trying to come up with a do-it-yourself method of creating more web fluid as he can't.
This was fun. I thought this was fun. Yeah.
So he can't go to the lab at Empire State University for fear of being identified as Peter Parker. Going to a shadier part of the city, he buys the over-the-counter ingredients he needs to develop new fluid. Shut up.
Which shop is it?
Lilith, I know you'll probably listen to this in the future. Shut up. However, the cost takes a huge chunk out of his money because he only had $20. Leaving Rowley to realize that he needs to get a job. To make matters worse, when he returns to the hotel where he has been staying, the clerk at the desk reminds him that payment for his weekly deposit is coming due. After scrounging for the necessary makeshift utilities, Ben successfully mixes a new batch of webbing. Yeah, because it looks like he gets like jars out of like the trash or something. Because there's like pickle jars and
Yeah, I thought he was scrounging for dinner first, but he's actually scrounging for apparati, right, to make the webbing. So, I mean, in any case, he's a dishevelled mess. I mean, let's not mince words here. And I'll say it now. I mean, again, it's signposted a bit later on, but this, and someone told me this as well, but I really agree. I kind of like, one of the reasons I like Scarlet Spider, Ben ReyRey, is that he's really struggling. You know how Peter Parker's meant to be representative of, the teenager and the, but he also has like a supermodel wife, and he also has a gig as a photographer for a big newspaper firm. So he's not exactly, blue collar, so to speak. But yeah, Ben certainly is. So.
And the other thing nice about Ben is, like, there's, if I don't know what example I can make, but it's like there's certain stories they'd be like, oh, you can't do that to Peter Parker. Well, it's like, we can do it to Ben. You can do whatever with Ben Reilly.
Yeah.
So you can really surprise people. Hungry, Ben begins looking for somewhere to eat on the cheap and stops at the Daily Grind, a coffee shop near Centennial University. Again, it's January 1996. I wonder, were they like, did they get inspiration from shows from like Friends that took place? Coffee,
yeah,
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Those two alone, I think, pretty much. But also, you'll note. Well, I thought maybe the Daily Grind, the logo, very kind of reminiscent of Cheers a little.
Oh, so, yeah.
I mean, that's a bar, but still. Yeah,
they're trying to make like it's like a sitcom or something.
Yeah.
However, he is 25 cents short of the full price. That's when the owner, Shirley Washington, tells Ben that the difference is on her and that she can't let a man go hungry. Ben accepts the charity but doesn't like the idea. Just as Ben sits down to eat his meal, a university student named Desiree Winthrop comes in with her entourage.
Kill me now.
Oh, it gets better, Ray. Wait till she discovers her psychic, her fortune-telling powers. Oh,
what? Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. She is a fashion student who had just put on a successful clothing display at the university. Desiree has issue with the fact that Ben is sitting at her usual table. But as he is finished eating, he gives it up for her. On his way out, Ben tells Shirley that he will pay her back for what he owes. At that moment, at the Norrell Port Complex, Armada uses his robotic drones to take down the exterior security. Meanwhile, Ben Reilly takes inspiration from Desiree and breaks into the fashion department at Centennial University, which we just created, starting with this story. There he goes through the scrap cloth to find materials to fashion himself a new Spider-Man costume. Man, that's a pretty good looking costume for, scrap
it is.
Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, he's got pretty good, tailor skills. I mean, to do that.
Been practicing the last 5 years.
Yeah. I like the, I thought this would have been a field day for the artist to do the Spider-Man variation costumes. The most notable being the Cyclops-esque blue team one. So 90s. Yeah.
Or like a cape, one has like a cape.
I'm surprised there was no trench coat. We're talking about the 90s here. Or ponytail, but
Oh, yeah, it was 96. They have a big Superman ponytail hanging out the back.
Yeah.
He decides to forego the classic design for a new design but finds it difficult to think up of a suitable design. As Ben begins working on a new costume design, Armada takes down the security at the Norrell Port Complex. After putting the finishing touches on the costume, Ben spots a bottle of hair dye and decides to make another change, this time to his physical appearance.
There it is. It's starting. In hindsight, I mean, it's good. The hair color's good. It'll probably take a little bit of time, but, growing a beard, I reckon that would change, you would really change looks. I question, I mean, it is true though. I question if you change your hair color. A little story. We had an 80s party like years ago, and Eve put on a black wig, and for listeners, she usually has blonde hair. And one of our, it wasn't a close friend, but just like a new friend, arrived at the door. He totally didn't recognize her. And she goes, "It's me, it's Eve." So yeah, it does prove that you can disguise yourself with just a change of hair color. But yeah.
Yes, but it gets better because when Peter comes back to town, they claim to be cousins, identical cousins.
Oh gosh.
Even though he's supposed to be a Riley, which is Aunt May's family.
Yeah.
Aunt May, who's related to Peter by marriage.
Yeah. How does that work? Unless there's a bit of we don't want to go there. But
back at Laurelport, Professor Ramirez runs a test on the DIT chip. Impressed with the way it can create lifelike three-dimensional images for all to see. After a successful test, Professor Ramirez is congratulated by his colleague as this technology will revolutionize the entertainment industry among other professions. Entertainment? That's when Armada comes bursting into the lab to steal the chip. By this point, Riley has put on his new Spider-Man costume and decides to go out web-slinging for the first time in his new identity and finds the experience liberating.
It looks cool. It's a really cool action shot of him in the full costume for the first time. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, with all the kind of Spider-Man font for his logo. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at that going, wow, it really holds up. You know, it could have easily been a very 90s costume, but it actually holds up really well.
All right, here's some trivia for you, Ray. Do you know what other character wore this costume, this exact costume?
Kane?
No. In their possible future, Peter Parker's daughter, Mayday Parker.
Mayday Parker. Oh, I didn't recognize it because obviously
the shape's different
proportions. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I haven't read that series, but I really want to collect it all. I know that they've got the complete collections out. I think it's up to volume 4. Like, that's quite a long series.
Well, the original series was 100 issues, and then they did a few more. But yeah, like the first one's long.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's her costume. You're right. Yeah, all right.
From her Uncle Ben.
Huh.
All right. But as he swings across the campus, he is spotted by a student named Jessica Carradine.
She's got to have something. Yeah.
Let's just say she's related to someone and leave it to that.
Okay. She just seems kind of strangely obsessed with wanting to take photos. So yeah, obviously there's something behind it, but I don't know what it is, but cool.
Oh, she's related to someone.
Not David Carradine, isn't she? She's not related to him, the Kung Fu master. No. Okay.
So it's a person you never know their last name. So it must be Carradine. Okay. Jessica is glad to finally catch Spider-Man in action and abandons her date to find her camera. Wasn't she with another? I don't know, because her and Ben start dating later on.
Okay.
She manages to catch a photo of the wall crawler just as he stops at the Laurelport building. His spider sense go. Oh boy, action time, kids! His spider sense go.
It's ting ting ting-a-lid, ting ting ting-a-lid.
And he notices the female photographer, but figures the danger is actually coming from inside the building. Mm-hmm. The web slinger's hunch is correct, as Armada has just got his hands on the DIT chip. Can't steal just one, kids.
Mm-hmm. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Oh, there's a drop. He is about to execute Professor Ramirez when the wall crawler interrupts. Furious, Armada unleashes all his robotic drones on the web slinger. When Spider-Man tries to web them up, his web shooters jam, forcing him to smash the robots with his bare hands. To get trying to mix it with cleaning fluid and stuff. This upsets Armada, who has an emotional attachment to his creations. Not wanting any more of his drones destroyed, Armada grabs the professor and the floating sphere containing the DIT chip. Unclogging his web shooters, Spider-Man goes after Armada. As they struggle in the air, the wall crawler manages to snag both Ramirez and the chip, but expends all his webbing, breaking their fall.
This webbing thing, he's always got problems with webbing, doesn't he? Yeah.
You know what? They wanted to go back to a classic take, and I think one of their thoughts on classic was always run out of web.
Was on that, yeah. Or in this case, sometimes it's not. Maybe in the other issues, but it gets clogged with the new fluid. Yeah.
That's when Armada's drones swoop down and take the chip and flee with their master. After Professor Ramirez explains what the chip is for, the wall crawler promises to try and get it back. When Ramirez offers to pay Spider-Man $100 for saving his life, the wall crawler turns down the much-needed money and asks for a quarter instead. Soon, Armada delivers the chip to his employer, who turns out to be Spider-Man's longtime foe, Mysterio. In his new 90s look.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that look.
Yeah, no bubble head, just like his head just looks like it's enveloped in smoke. It's like,
yeah, it's a bit too Dormammu Jack-o'-lantern for me. But yeah.
It's like, come on. Don't mess with the bubble head. Come on.
If it ain't broke.
Exactly. At that same moment, Ben Reilly returns to the daily grind to pay back the quarter he owes Shirley Washington.
Isn't that charming? Coming back just to pay the quarter.
She almost doesn't recognize him with a shaved face and bleached hair. When he tells her that even though he's broke, he doesn't have to look that way. Hearing that he's looking for a job, Shirley explains that she just fired some thieving employees and offers him a job, starting the next day. Ben agrees and convinces her to give him an advance on his salary so he can pay his bills. Then why did you just take the $100 from Ramirez?
That's so presumptuous as well. She just hired him. It's like, hang on, can I? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, her for just take the money that Ramirez offered you without asking.
That kind of nobility is kind of cancelled out with him just saying, "Oh, by the way, can I just borrow some money now?" It's like,
and I get it because I mean, as we're gonna get to, he buys he takes some of the money to buy flowers for Aunt May and Uncle Ben's graves. I mean, I don't mean to be like heartless, but it's like they're not gonna know.
Oh yeah, and
I mean, you can wait. You can't wait a week or two for that.
Exactly, and don't call me skeptical, but who knows how much he borrowed, right? So a bit for the flowers, a bit for on the side, a bit for the horses. You don't know with Ben. May have put a flutter on.
I mean, I'm assuming if nothing else, paying another week at that hotel.
Another bottle of peroxide,
Oh.
And then at the last page, it looks like he's got brown hair again.
I know.
Colorists, come on.
Yeah, come on. Read the notes. Come on. Yeah, but after this bit of good fortune, Ben pays a visit to the grave of his Aunt May and Uncle Ben to tell them the good news. Leaving flowers, he tells them that after everything he endured that day, he realizes that there is still a need for Spider-Man and that he will still live up to his life lesson. All right, Lilith, pick the glass up. With great power comes great responsibility.
That's a mouthful.
So what did you think, Ray? I don't know. I before when we started, I thought you seemed like you're like, the art was
look, I think out of the four that we're covering, little bits and pieces here and there. I like the art. I think the art was good. A lot of the writing wasn't that special. Recap, I can understand why they did that. So, a few pages for that. Armada as a villain and this perverse love for machines, just a bit weird for me. And I don't know, he just didn't seem like an interesting enough villain. But I did like the setup of Ben Reilly being his own man, coloring his hair, designing his own suit. Coming back as Spider-Man. People are still kind of wondering, is that really Spider-Man or not? It's slightly different. So yeah, it was decent enough, I think. Not a standout by any means, but yeah. How about yourself? What did you think?
I mean, it's probably a lot of nostalgia because I read this new, but I mean, I thought the story was good. Yeah, there are some weird stuff with Armada and that Mysterio new look rubs me the wrong way. I thought it was decent, but it's like. Yeah. And I get the new branding, if they want people to buy this comic and know, hey, look, there's a new Spider-Man. But it's like, why didn't you use this? Why didn't you try to do the same costume just so people aren't saying, hey, there's a new Spider-Man? Is that a new Spider-Man?
Yeah, exactly. But I think it does what it sets out to do. Yeah, nothing too flash. So
basically, just a new beginning.
That what's her name? Winthrop. So we get
Desiree,
over the top character. I mean, I know that's her personality, so I guess she was written well, but gosh, she grinds my gears like in the just the arrogance. But fair enough. She seems to kind of like at least the look of Ben, so that's something.
They will. Yeah, what's up with all these over-the-top female characters?
Yeah.
His mouth.
Yeah, they're not really written very well, are they? So, yeah.
The big finish.
Oh.
If it's good enough for Joe Rogan, it's good enough for me.
Oh my
gosh.
All right, so let's get to this next one. All right, so Amazing Spider-Man 407. Also from January 96.
Mm-hmm.
Blast from the Past. Writer Tom DeFalco, penciler Mark Bagley, so you know I love the art. Inker Larry Maltstead, colorist Bob Sharon and Malibu Color, letterer Bill Oakley, and again, editor Bob Budiansky. All right, so we get some guest appearances here, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, you know it's always gonna be good when it starts with J. Jonah Jameson is disappointed with the front page of the Daily Bugle. This kind of like this beginning part kind of like I don't know if it's an homage because I think DeFalco wrote that too of Amazing Spider-Man 252 when Peter comes back from Secret Wars with the black costume.
Oh, okay, right.
Because Jameson and Joe are talking about the big front of the newspaper at the beginning of that one too, because all those heroes are missing.
Yeah.
Hey, where's all the heroes at?
Yeah, it seems strangely familiar as well. I wonder if it's just more than twice, that they do it. Now, I'm sure I've read bits where they just kind of confer with each other in the office, but
I think those were both DeFalco's, so I think he won.
Oh, yeah.
This edition asked the question, what happened to Spider-Man? Because the photo that has been used doesn't grab the same sort of attention as the headline. In fact, Jonah thinks the photo is one of Peter Parker's old photos that the Bugle had in the archives. When Jonah asks if Joe had heard from Parker since he left town with his wife to prepare for the coming baby. Spider-Man: The Final Adventure, which I didn't put on the list because I don't if there's Ben in it, Ben's barely in it. But yeah, they're in Portland, Oregon, on the other side of the country.
Yeah, they're away.
But don't worry, they'll be back in this books, kids. Unfortunately, Joe hasn't heard a word from the Parkers since they left. Because they're on an adventure. Getting back on topic, Joe asked Jonah if he thinks that they are dealing with a new Spider-Man in the city. This is because after not being seen for a few weeks, the wall crawler reappears with a new costume. Adding to the mystery are unconfirmed sightings of the wall crawler in Portland. That's Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Jonah begins getting so upset that he pulls out a cigar from his desk drawer. He's about to light up when Joe Robertson reminds Jonah that he gave up smoking cigars. Looking out the window, Joe Robertson witnesses the Human Torch streaking up and realizes that their story has struck a chord with someone else. The Human Torch also wants to know the truth, and as they have been allies for years, he wants to get to the bottom of the issue, particularly since the wall crawler recently came to his aid. Was that the Fantastic Four issue? Let me check the notes. Boy. Sorry, kids. Just looking. Oh, no. That's the holiday special. I thought it was the Fantastic Four issue. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, they're always coming to each other's aids. So, sorry, I gotta scroll back up, kids. Yeah, to this end, the Torch uses his flame powers to write a message to Spider-Man in the sky, asking the web-slinger to meet him at the usual place. Figuring that if this is truly the original Spider-Man, he will know where to meet him. At that moment, at the Daily Grind, Ben Reilly strikes up a conversation with Buzz. Buzz, a regular patron at the about the entertainment section of the Daily Bugle. That's when his boss, Shirley Washington, jokes telling Ben not to let Buzz distract him from the job. As Ben begins preparing the next drink order, he thinks about how he's been trying to make a life for himself. As we get another recap, kids. Trying to make a life as Ben Reilly, even though he has discovered he's been the real Peter Parker, and how he'd let Peter use the name. That's when another regular, the fashion-obsessed Desiree Winthrop, enters the Daily Grind with her friends, Ray's favorite. The topic of their discussion is the Human Torch's message to Spider-Man that has appeared in the sky. When Ben goes to take her order, Desiree recognizes him even though Reilly has recently bleached his hair.
Oh.
As he takes their order, oh yeah, there's a little love triangle between
Yeah.
them. Yeah. As he takes their order, Ben can't help but think about what sort of relationship Peter Parker had with the Human Torch in the 5 years he operated as Spider-Man, and fondly recalls how they often worked together. And if that wasn't enough for you kids, meanwhile, at the Symkarian embassy, Silver Sable informs Sandman that the recent crop of recruits for the Wild Pack have just arrived. As they head for the gym, Sable sends Sandman to confront them, only telling him to go easy on them. Against the Sandman, this group of soldiers lasts only 15 seconds. However, the Sandman assures her that they will be able to last 20 seconds after a few weeks of training. What?
I know. I was just going to say. Look, his costumes. Hey?
Stamina?
Exactly. His costume, though, is terrible. But I take it that because he's kind of morphing and stuff. But, man, Bagley, please, I'm glad it started and ended here with that.
What did you want, that striped t-shirt?
Yeah, just a striped t-shirt. It's good. Yeah.
That'd be funny if that's like the accident bonded that t-shirt to him so he couldn't make it look like any other clothes.
Yeah.
That's when Sable shows Sandman the front page of the Daily Bugle. Although she figures that this is just more of J. Jonah Jameson's bluster, she wants to investigate since it would be prudent to learn if Spider-Man had been replaced, as he often worked as a freelancer for Silver Sable in the past. A few hours later, the Human Torch has decided that he has waited long enough and heads for the Statue of Liberty in the hopes that Spider-Man arrives for his meeting. As he streaks across the Manhattan skyline, the Torch is unaware that he is being monitored by members of the Wild Pack. Elsewhere, someone is watching the meet. Oh God, this era. Elsewhere, someone is watching the meeting between Spider-Man and the Human Torch.
Someone is watching the meeting. Someone's lurking. Oh, Kane started it. It's his fault.
Man, it always feels like somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
Shocking. Someone else is watching the meeting. Shockingly, the Torch tells Spider-Man that he has come to eliminate the wall crawler and incinerates the masked hero in a full fiery blast. No! However, this is nothing more than a simulation created by Mysterio, the master illusionist. Oh my God, can you imagine? Peter'd be like, I gotta come back. He was running a test of the new digital imagery transmission chip that he had recently stolen. He is impressed with its ability to create a simulation of any situation down to the minute detail and begins plotting his ultimate goal, the destruction of Spider-Man. Meanwhile, Ben Reilly pays a visit to his friend Seward Trainer. His body is still in a coma since his mind became trapped in cyberspace. He prays his friend will wake up and promises he will be back to see him tomorrow. As he leaves the hospital, Ben laments over the current state of his life and tries to come up with some ideas on what to do next, ultimately deciding to go meet with the Human Torch. Soon, Ben goes down to the ferry terminal to catch a boat to the Statue of Liberty.
The meeting place, the rendezvous.
Mm-hmm. Also, there are Silver Sable and the Sandman who have correctly deduced that Spider-Man would need to take a ferry to Liberty Island and are keeping an eye out for him. Spotting the Sandman in the crowd and unaware that the former criminal is reformed, Ben slips away to change into Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Once in costume, Spider-Man confronts the Sandman and Silver Sable. When he refers to Sable as a blonde cutie, Sable orders Sandman to go all out to test if this is the real Spider-Man or another man.
That's it. Engage.
Yes. Sandman chastises Spider-Man for disrespecting Silver Sable, pointing out that even Dr. Doom treats her with respect. Spider-Man recognizes Sable's name as he once saw her on a late-night talk show. As the battle rages on, Jessica Carradine develops photos she recently took of the new Spider-Man in the darkroom of Centennial University. Amanique, Jessica's classmate, is impressed with the quality of the photos. She suggests that they rival that of Peter Parker's photography of the wall crawler and suggests that she could sell them to the Daily Bugle for a decent amount of money. Back at the ferry terminal, Spider-Man continues to evade the Sandman's attacks, suggesting that they stop fighting and talk. Sandman is willing to do so after Silver Sable gives the word. Observing from a safe distance, Silver Sable wonders wonders and determines that this is not the same Spider-Man that she has worked with in the past. Although this one has the same powers, his moves are completely different and is more inexperienced and lighthearted than the wall crawler she knows.
I think that's really cool to note as well. Like, she's quite observant, and to be able to grab that stuff, because it's true, right? I mean, he has less experience because he was out of action for a while. I don't know why he's a bit more lighthearted. Maybe because the world hasn't crashed down around him as many times as Peter Parker's.
He hasn't had Harry Osborn messing with him. He hasn't had robot parents. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
By this point, Spider-Man attempts to web up the Sandman, only to discover that his web shooters have been jammed with sand.
No, not again.
While not far away, the Human Torch has waited long enough and concludes that there is a new Spider-Man operating in the city. As he flies back to Manhattan, he spots a disturbance happening at the ferry depot and decides to check it out. Arriving in time to see the Sandman gripping the wall crawler, the Torch blasts the wall crawler free and orders the mercenary to cease his attack. Before the fight can begin anew, Silver Sable fires her gun into the sky and announces the test is over.
In full 90s glory, with the shot, struck a pose, Silver Sable.
Silver Sable has concluded that this is a new Spider-Man and offers him work if the wall crawler is interested. Spider-Man thinks about how the situation is more complicated than that as he thinks of himself as the original Spider-Man. Hearing this, the Human Torch is furious that someone else would take up Spider-Man's identity and demands answers from the wall crawler. Spider-Man gets annoyed, telling the Torch that he doesn't need to explain himself. Frustrated over the situation, the Torch flies off, warning Spider-Man that he's going to keep a close eye on him in the future. Silver Sable and Sandman also decided to depart. This entire encounter has left Spider-Man beside himself. Things have changed so much now. His old foe, the Sandman, considers him an ally, and an old ally like the Torch now considers him an enemy. It feels like the whole world is upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's cool as well. There's a little play on, I just noticed it now. You know how the public originally were suspicious of Spider-Man as a superhero, and the Daily Bugle didn't help that. It's funny now, like his own, I guess, colleagues, if you will, are all questioning him because they don't know whether he is, or, they suspect he's a different Spider-Man and they're wondering what his motives are. So there's that mistrust now within the superhero community. I think that's a pretty cool touch. But yeah, what did you make of this issue?
I like that again. Of course, I love the art. I like that they get into the fact that it's like Ben Reilly's been away so long, so like he doesn't know the Sandman's reformed. He doesn't know who Silver Sable is until it's pointed out, and I just don't know why he does. At least with Johnny Storm, why he doesn't just say, "Hey, that guy you knew for 5 years, that was my clone. I'm the guy you originally met like back in 1960."
Yeah, I mean, he's the Fantastic Four member. They've come across some weird stuff. I'm sure he would understand out of anyone.
I mean, you don't have to tell him who you are. Just say, "Hey, that guy was the clone. I was the guy you originally met as Spider-Man."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I enjoy this issue as well. It's funny because the previous issue for me presented stuff that was, presented stuff about Ben Reilly that was new, like, about him changing his hair color, new costume, creating his own web fluid, that sort of stuff, introduced new characters like Winthrop. So in that regard, the previous issue, I think, was enjoyable. But this issue, just as a whole, just as a fun romp and guest stars, I just enjoyed it a lot more. Of course, the Bagley art, we don't have to talk about that. It just, the Human Torch never looked better. Seriously. I mean, I love that classic look. And sometimes some artists can draw it really differently, but for me, this is kind of how the Human Torch looks. I mean, kind of bald and red and yellow. I mean,
Hey, Silver Sable never looked better, okay?
Silver Sable, yeah, I was about to say, look, in all sincerity, Silver Sable as well, and Sandman, really, and of course, Spider-Man, Bagley's got him down to a T, so really, really visually nice comic to read, and DeFalco's writing was pretty good. It's fun. Again, it had the recap, but that was restricted to like half a page, and it kind of just motors some of the plots along, like Winthrop, Carradine. We're kind of getting started. So it was good to have just other familiar characters in there just to kind of carry it along a bit and keep you interested, especially in the fight scene. So
again, they always throw all these women at Ben,
sex on the mind. But so funny, like Winthrop was like looking at him and remarking at him, and then Ben's daydreaming about the Human Torch. What's going on?
The Hard Master.
But no, really fun issue. I enjoy. I mean, this one for me a little bit better than the first one.
It might be my favorite one of this week.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. The last two were a little bit bonkers. So
yes. All right, you want to get to this? I can't wait to hear your thoughts on these.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, kids. So yes, next one is Web of Scarlet Spider number 3. You're like, wait, Scarlet Spider? And Riley Spider-Man again. What's going on? All right.
Yeah.
So this one, January 1996 again. Rude Awakenings.
Oh.
Writer Evan Skolnick. Penciler Paris Coronis. Inker Randy Emberlin. Colors Kevin Tinsley. And letterer Steve Dutrow. I was going to say, wait, that doesn't say Ditko, does it? No.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Dutrow. Oh, so good. They don't even mention an editor. So the editor's like, don't put my name on it.
Oh, no. Well, Eric Fine?
Oh, is it? Okay. In the notes here.
Oh, no. I edit. Okay. Yeah.
Fine. All right.
Fine.
All right, kids. The FBI is searching the ruins of the hideout that belonged to Dr. Octopus. The operation is overseen by Agent Stephanie Briggs, remember her from last month, who is searching for any sign of her partner. Remember, kids, Joe Wade. Remember Joe Wade, who had infiltrated? Yeah, remember the guy who was going to try to put the moves on Dr. Octopus's right-hand woman, and
yeah, he was like brutally tortured, and what do you call it? Hooked up to the huge machine. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running the virtual reality Scarlet Spider. I can use this drop now.
Exciting times to be a pimp. Did you cut and paste that together?
A little bit. I mean, you kind of stumbled. I was like, oh, he did that on purpose.
Exciting times to be a pimp.
I forgot I was going to do that as the intro. All right. So yeah, they're looking for Joe Wade, who had infiltrated the facility by posing as one of the minions of Dr. Octopus. She doesn't know if her colleague is dead or alive, but knows that he deserves to be found. That's when she sees a gloved hand sticking out of the rubble. When she goes and investigates, the individual bursts out of the rubble. It is apparently the Scarlet Spider who had went bad not long before. When the FBI agents draw their weapons, the spider leaps around, webbing up their guns while spouting gibberish.
Absolutely.
When Briggs asks the spider questions about Joe Wade, the masked vigilante makes a series of play on words and ends by mentioning Stephanie having a weight problem before swinging away. Hearing this, Briggs wonders how the Scarlet Spider could know about her struggles with weight loss.
I don't know what to say about it. This is it's so weird. The writer, it's so weird to choose that as a trigger for Briggs to know. But no, hey, I guess so. But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, all right. Yeah. Later, when Stephanie returns to the Bureau's New York headquarters to file a report, she meets with her superior, Nelson Stone. That sounds like a made-up name. After hearing about the strange encounter, Stone tells her to forget about the Scarlet Spider, as any involvement with superhumans will result in the case being taken away from the FBI. He reminds her that the Bureau's job is to recover the solid holographic technology created by Dr. Octopus. Briggs also reminds Stone that they are also trying to find Joe Wade and storms out of the office. Once she is gone, Nelson thinks about what he was told and figures that Stephanie may have already found Joe. Meanwhile, the Scarlet Spider is going around the city causing chaos wherever he goes, earning the ire of New Yorkers and leading to altercations with the NYPD.
Sorry, Phil, can I just say, it's probably a silly question, but the last two issues that we've covered, right, and these two issues, there is a correlation, right, between the technology that's being used, the DIT chip, and Dr. Octavius, Dr. Octopus's technology because they are very similar. And so I was originally thinking, okay, this ties in together, but
I don't think there's really a connection, but yeah, it is weird that it's like, almost right two stories like right after the other, where it's like similar, and just that it's a technology thing, but on its own, it's just like, man,
But it's solidifying basically, literally like VR or whatever. That was Hong before with Dr. Octopus, and this one, the DIT chip is like materializing all your mental thoughts. So yeah, very similar. But yeah,
I think they were just trying to be hip, 1996.
Look at all my floppy disks.
Oh my! Thank you. Fleeing the authorities, the Scarlet Spider suddenly stops web slinging in order to dive into an alley. While the Scarlet Spider goes into the alley, it is the naked body of, who is he? Joe Wade, that comes wandering out of the dark moments later. Weak and disoriented, Joe rushes home, recalling the torture he experienced while he was a prisoner of Dr. Octopus.
I'm sorry, I'm surprised he hasn't got like no eyes and he's got like massive lacerations on his body, because he was really, listeners as well, if you followed before, he was really hooked up to this machine, almost like Superman 3 style, so anyway, that's kind of a little bit glossed over, but doesn't matter.
One, it's the 90s, and
so
the process probably gave him a healing factor. It is
of course.
And two, don't mention Superman 3 too many times. You're gonna like draw an evil spirit.
Now. Yeah, exactly.
Getting into his apartment, Wade intends to call his superiors and tell them everything that happened, but he quickly collapses from exhaustion and sleeps the night away. The next morning, Justice has mobilized Firestar, Powerhouse, and Turbo to assist in hunting down the Scarlet Spider. After hearing news about the hero's crime spree, Justice intends to bring the Spider to the authorities as his activities are affecting the image of the New Warriors. Yes, kids, because for some reason, they had Scarlet Spider on the New Warriors for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Love the New Warriors. Love the look of Firestar, I've just got to say.
Oh my.
Come on. Look, no, her costume's good. Like, her costume's a bit 90s, but it's cool.
Leather jacket,
Yeah, leather jacket, the yellow sunglasses.
Sex on the mind.
Was that me? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, remember we were talking about the Green Goblin last time, Phil Perich, and you're always like, man, he is just all women all 24/7. Why does he have
sex on the mind?
Don't even recognize yourself.
The Hard Master.
Oh yeah. I served that up on a silver platter. That one.
Please, Russell. Asked for that, so had this.
Yes.
So you like the art? Okay.
Yeah.
Those boobs scare me.
I need more null drops. All right. After hearing about the hero's crimes, at that same moment, Joe Wade wakes up and watches the news reports about the Scarlet Spider. Knowing that this was him, he decides that he needs to get help. As he reaches for the phones, Joe suddenly feels a pain shoot up his arm, but it quickly goes away. He then calls Stephanie Briggs and asks her to meet him in Central Park. When Stephanie meets with Joe, she is horrified by how horrible he looks. He quickly explains how his cover was blown while he's posing as one of the henchmen of Dr. Octopus. He also tells Briggs how Octopus forced him into a virtual reality simulator that created a solid form hologram of the Scarlet Spider and was made to commit crimes. Although Octopus was stopped, the explosion at her lab somehow merged Joe with the hologram of the Scarlet Spider. When he tries to turn himself in, Joe's whole body begins to glow, causing him pain. Realizing that he's going to transform into the Scarlet Spider once again, Wade rushes into the bushes to get away from Stephanie. Try as he might, Joe is unable to stop the transformation, and he becomes the Scarlet Spider once more.
I think this is like, for me, when I saw this, I think it's them trying to do another variation on the symbiote. I don't know, just the way it looks, and the fact that he's got a different personality. That whole clash of the symbiote and Eddie Brock. He's got another personality once he's the Scarlet Spider. So dueling identities. I look at it going, oh, okay. I think I know where this comes from.
I just wonder if this was supposed to be like a one and done story, with like the issues and stuff, or like were they trying to create like a new, like, I don't know, like half Spider-Man, half Deadpool character.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to tell. You're right, because it does wrap up quite nicely. But I wonder, maybe the ideas, maybe they just pinched the ideas, to tie it in. But it was never meant to go anywhere. But it's interesting having like a cyber version of the symbiote. Yeah.
Becoming unhinged again, the Scarlet Spider decides to resume his activities from the day before. Meanwhile, Firestar is searching the city for traces of the Scarlet Spider, unaware that she is looking for an imposter. Her thoughts are on how she invited the Scarlet Spider onto the team. She worries that her boyfriend, Justice, was jealous of this move and that has added more pressure on him on top of becoming the new leader of the New Warriors. That's when she spots a fire on the George... Oh, my God. No good comes from this bridge. She spots a fire on the George Washington Bridge and decides to go and investigate. There she finds the Scarlet Spider attacking the commuters on the bridge and demands to know what he is doing. Oh, Lord. Okay, kids. This is where it gets bad.
Yeah.
All right. When he tries to steal a kiss from Firestar, she instinctively uses her powers to force him off her. This burns away some of the spider's skin, revealing a strange metallic substance underneath. Realizing that she is dealing with an imposter, Firestar unleashes her microwave abilities on the imposter. This burns away his costume, enveloping the Scarlet Spider in a cloud of strange smoke. Strange smoke, you say?
Smoke to doobie.
Wow, his presence is obscured. He strikes Firestar with a beam, knocking her out. Emerging from the cloud in a new metallic form, the Scarlet Spider begins moving in on the young woman, preparing to end her life.
Yeah. I don't mind the art. I thought the art was okay. It was good, not too bad. This Scarlet Spider was, I think, really, and again, it might be the intention, but just really over the top, like to the point where the jokes seemed really forced. And but again, this might be what it is all about. It's not meant to be the real Scarlet Spider. It's a cyber digital version of him. So yeah, that was just a little bit weird. It's good to see, like, similar to Firestar, I guess there's that sense of relief for her that it's not really Ben Reilly. It's not the guy that she asked to come onto the New Warriors team. So her suspicions were kind of, were true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. I was a little off put because after the previous two issues that we read, then going into this one, issue 3, it opens up with the old Ben Reilly costume, and it's like, oh, what's happening here again? Where is that him? But obviously, it's not him.
Yeah.
The writing, yeah, I mean, Joe Wade, poor fella. That's all. I say poor fella, but I'm not really invested in his character. Same with Briggs, but look, it set up a nice villain for the next issue, and yeah, makes it quite interesting. Again, I think this is middle of the road sort of stuff for the Ben Reilly saga as it is. You could pick on stuff as well, like I mentioned, Joe Wade being quite healed up already and got unhooked from that machine. He's wearing jocks. I remember, I think Dr. Octopus, she ripped off all his clothes. I mean, there was that kind of suggestion that he was totally naked. Those are little details though, so not too worried. But yeah, what did you make of it?
Again, yeah, it was weird. I'm like, why are we doing this? Is it just to sell like another story? I mean, and again, we'll mention it real briefly, but it crosses over with New Warriors for an issue. So it's like, it's yeah, again, I don't know if they were trying to create it like were they trying to create a brand new Scarlet Spider?
It's weird. I mean, like, I guess the way that what you said there, Phil, as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong when I first got into comics, there's nothing wrong with having adventures that really have no stakes, and they're just fun tales. But yeah, I mean, this is the way this is framed. It's, I guess, and we're reading it retrospectively. It's, you wonder, like, you kind of wonder where they're leading. Maybe they're not leading anywhere. Maybe it's just meant to be a nice little fun romp. But having said that, though, the question then, it has to be a fun romp. And it's fun to see the new Warriors there. Didn't read the part 2 in between this and the next one, but it's fun. It doesn't really further Ben Reilly's character at all. He's not in it, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the next part he is, but no, like part 2, I'll sum it up briefly. I mean, Justice comes and saves Firestar. The Scarlet Spider gets away. Ben Reilly eventually finds out that there's an imposter. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, hey, there's that virtual reality Scarlet Spider.
That's a nice. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, and then like the Scarlet Spider just takes this TV studio hostage, and one of the hostages in there is Speedball's mother. So
yeah. I mean, the next issue does well, I think, in recapping that. So I think it's really good. So if you're a Scarlet Spider fan, not a New Warriors fan, you aren't obligated to get part 2, because I think it does recap it enough. But yeah, interesting. So we've got this Scarlet Spider, this metal. And do you know, Phil, because by the time we get to the next issue, the Scarlet Spider, the metallic one, it's kind of grown. It looks like Strong Guy. Was there a reason for that? Because when we left him with Firestar, he looks normal.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like mutating because like her attack or something.
Okay.
Remember, I mean, not only she burned them, she microwaved them. So
yeah.
Like you said, like microwave popcorn or something, man. Just
like popped out like a big corn kernel.
Thank you, Ray. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, even on the cover, he looks normal. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Don't know.
I gotta bring up the synopsis for the. All right, then let's go through. Yeah, so after the New Warriors, which I wonder if like that was them trying to boost sales on New Warriors doing this.
Yeah,
because I mean, that was issue 67. They only went to 75, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I think the latter portion of the New Warriors really. I mean, I didn't collect it by then. I kind of hovered around the midway mark. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe it was struggling for sure. You can't go past the original New Warriors. I'm sorry. So
exactly. All right. Sorry, kids. Pop-up ads. All right. All right. So what was? What is Scarlet Spider? Who am I podcasting with? Little Hellfire. What was Scarlet Spider Volume 1, Number 4, from February 1996? Red Rum. I believe it's the same team as the last one.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
As number 3, Skolnick's the writer. Yeah, Karanovas, penciler. Yeah, same. All right. So the virtual. So remember the synopsis I gave you for the New Warriors kids. All right. The virtual being calling itself the Scarlet Spider has taken hostages at a television station. Upon learning this, Spider-Man and the New Warriors race to this scene before the creature can kill anyone. Among the hostages is Madeline Baldwin, Speedball's mother, which has prompted the hero to head off before them. That same moment, Scarlet Spider adjusts a live news feed telling the viewing audience that he will kill one of his hostages. He also warns it that if the feed is cut, he will kill everyone all at once. That's when Speedball comes crashing into this television studio and engages the spider. Madeline is relieved to see that her son has come to her rescue. As the other hostages escape, Speedball frees the last one by blasting the Scarlet Spider with a barrage of kinetic bubbles. Yeah, this seemed crazy, kids. Well, that's what happens when you you introduce Speedball. I was gonna say Speedball, 8-Ball. Sorry, going for a cocaine joke. I messed it up.
Everyone loves cocaine.
Thank you, Troy.
Everyone loves cocaine.
Charlie.
So what is this Scarlet Spider up to?
Oh, I'm going to wear a gimp mask and murder people.
Jeez.
My crew. At the same moment, FBI agent Nelson Stone, again, fake name, immobilizes a group of colleagues to deal with the Scarlet Spider situation. He tells the others that if they must take the spider, in reality, their colleague Joe Wade alive. He also warns them not to inform Stephanie Briggs, Joe's former partner, as she is too close to this case. However, Stephanie is already on her way to the television studio. She thinks about how Joe Wade was forced to become the new Scarlet Spider by the holographic technology of Dr. Octopus. She wants to reach Joe before the rest of the Bureau because she doesn't want Joe to become a lab rat as the authorities try to figure out what makes him tick. She's not the only one to arrive at the police barricade at that moment as Spider-Man and the New Warriors arrive on the scene. They are informed that the cameras inside went dark after some lone hero rushed in to try and save them. As Firestar is in the process of asking who it is when suddenly Speedball comes crashing out of one of the windows. As Justice uses his telekinetic powers to catch falling debris, Turbo rescues Speedball. Spider-Man is impressed that Speedball managed to free the hostages when the Scarlet Spider emerges from the building. He catches the Warriors off guard when he unleashes a powerful optic blast. While the New Warriors scramble to restabilize the building, the Scarlet Spider tries to flee away. Unfortunately for him, Spider-Man manages to hitch a ride. On the street.
I've just got to stop there, Phil. There's before I forget, in that actual page that you're describing, there's a really cool way that the art's done. Like there's the panels off kilt, but then there's it's either the tail or the claw of that Scarlet Spider, and it kind of overlaps two panels, and you have the web kind of on the borderline of that layout. It's really, really good. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I like some of the art in this issue, like the art for this episode is going to be that last page where he's like spraying like webbing like right at your face. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm contractually obligated to play this drop because I said he's blasting webbing in your face.
Not in the face.
On the street below, Stephanie Briggs follows after them, hoping that she can stop Joe before he murders someone. Meanwhile, Spider-Man tries to convince the Scarlet Spider to stand down, furious at the creature imitating his old costume and ruining his reputation. Hearing that the wall crawler used to be the Scarlet Spider angers Joe Wade, and he redoubles his attacks, his form becoming more and more dangerous. Wade temporarily blinds the web slinger with a blinding flash of light when he knocks Spider-Man over the side of the building. He is rescued by Firestar, who swoops in to rescue him. I love that. Angel. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Good Angel.
Yeah.
The pair are ambushed by the Scarlet Spider and sent falling to the ground. However, they are saved by Justice, who slows their fall with his telekinetic powers. That's when the Scarlet Spider unleashes a powerful sonic blast that decimates the street. As Spider-Man and the Warriors recover, the Scarlet Spider prepares for another blast. That's when Stephanie Briggs rushes out and convinces Joe to stand down. She points out how he injured so many innocent people, herself included, and how his last blast killed some of their colleagues. She reminds Joe that this isn't who he is, and he is a noble man. Realizing that what he has done, the Scarlet Spider forces himself to change back into Joe Wade, a process that is incredibly painful. That's when Agent Nelson Stone steps in and takes control of the situation. He takes Wade and Briggs into custody. When Spider-Man and the Warriors demand to know what the FBI will do to prevent something like this happening again, Stone assures them that with Wade in custody, the Bureau has the situation under control. Hearing this, Stephanie Briggs vows never to leave Joe's side. In the aftermath of the battle, Speedball confirms that his mother is safe, and she expresses how proud she is over her son for saving her life. That's when Justice and Firestar pull Spider-Man aside. He apologizes for being rude to the wall crawler earlier, admitting that he was insecure about Spider-Man showing attention to his girlfriend, Firestar. Spider-Man shrugs it off, pretending like he didn't notice anything at all, tossing a friendly wink at Firestar before swinging off. As they watch Spider-Man go, Justice remarks that while they didn't know who their Scarlet Spider really was, but knows that he was no Spider-Man. Knowing better, Firestar isn't sure, telling him that only time will tell.
Yeah, so it's, again, we see in the superhero community, it seems to be spreading now that they know he's not the Spider-Man that, he's the original Spider-Man. Like with this issue, like as you're saying, I think over across both of the last two issues of the Web of Scarlet Spider. I think the art is good, but it's pretty uneven. Like there are a lot of panels and stuff that just look really rough and maybe not detailed or inked enough. So that's a little disappointing. But then again, you get some good shots like that last panel, as you said. But yeah, one of the first things and this is a really small quibble, but one of the first things I saw at the beginning of this issue, Speedball's mum, I'm going, she looks like she's in her 20s. Like, how old is she meant to be? Like, she's meant to be a bit older, right? So the art's kind of lacking a bit there.
Well, the thing you could say about Speedball's mom, I think, isn't she like an actress or something? So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I like the little things like, you mentioned towards the end, him winking at Firestar. It just reminded me of Eric Larson sort of art with the winkers.
The mask wings.
The mask, yeah, because realistically, I mean, that wouldn't work, right? Unless he had some Tony Stark tech like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But it's fun to see anyway. So yes, the art was up and down. Like there's this really cool, I think, really inspired stuff like when Joe Wade reverts back to Joe Wade after being talked down by Briggs. Just some nice different layouts, use of colors, that sort of stuff. I thought it was really tropey how Briggs kind of spoke to him. Everyone, no, don't get near him. He's going to kill you. He's going to, and like, no, let me talk to him. You can do it, Joe. Just, in your heart of hearts, you can do it. Yeah, so I thought that was a bit, come on, that's happened many times. But yeah, overall it was okay.
What were we in for her to say? The sun's getting real low, big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And they left this very open-ended because I don't think you see Joe or Stephanie anymore, but it's like
okay.
I think they really left that open-ended. That's why I'm wondering, did they have some kind of plan where they maybe could have come back to this? Maybe
that was it, a bit of insurance, like just in case he proves to be popular, he can come back, but otherwise we can just let him fade off into the horizon, because he clearly has some microchippy computer thingies all over his skin. He's not good yet. So yeah, potential to come back. Yeah, the fights were fun.
I could have seen a few ways they could have went with them, either like a wisecracking anti-hero. I mean, they could have made him like a straight up villain for Spider-Man.
Yeah. If maybe work a bit more on the look of the villain, because at the moment it's just like the one color, a little bit uninteresting. But had some qualities there. But yeah, the fights were fun. I thought the fight was good here. It was an extended fight scene, so you'd want that in the finale. I'm looking again when the Scarlet Spider lands a Salva Shimmer right across against Ben Reilly. His eyes are shut again, which is cool. So again, his eyes are operational. But yeah, there's fun, and it's a mix of just good-hearted fun, and it's a mix of cliches.
Yeah.
So that
Definitely. Again, remember it was 1996.
Yeah, true. So yeah, can't expect too much, but that was decent.
God, this story is so old. That's what Lilith keeps saying. She's like, "Oh, the 90s weren't 10 years ago."
I know, it's crazy to think. And I know.
As you say, we're the same vintage, Ray. Remember when we graduated high school? Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I know. That was a fine year. I mean, if we were a wine, we would have well sweetened by now, Phil. So
exactly.
Exciting times to be a pimp.
It is exciting times. But yeah, what would you give this then, Phil? I mean, are we going to do all of them, like all up? Kind of as a disjointed. I mean, they're not really two separate stories.
Okay, do you want to do the first two and the second two?
Yeah. What would you give the first two?
The first two, I mean, probably give an A- to the first two, and then maybe like a B. A- to the first two and a B- to the second two.
Okay, yeah, I'd definitely give a B for the first two. The second, I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit maybe a C plus. I mean, again, we're not talking about Tolstoy or anything for any of these stories. And you know, we've reviewed a lot of Scarlet Spider stories, which seem to be middle of the road. This one, yeah, I mean, it was fun. It just didn't really hold too much for me, apart from some of the art. So yeah, C plus, yeah, for the second half.
Yeah, and again, you have to grade on a curve because it's 90s comic.
Yeah, I love the 90s. It's just yeah. I mean, every time I see it,
Seriously, though.
exactly. Yeah, every time I just see it mentioned online and stuff, it's like, oh god, it was the 90s. That's the excuse for it. But like, there were a lot of really fun and good things that came out of the 90s. And there's stuff like this, although I'm kind of giving it a middle score, it's still just fun, right? You know. So yeah, a lot of leeway for the 90s, I think.
Definitely. All right. Are we finished here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I've been announcing this, but special announcement, kids. Yes, next week, Lilith Hellfire and I will be doing a Christmas issue, which Christmas story we already recorded from Amazing Spider-Man 165 and 166. Featuring not only the Lizard, but Stegron the Dinosaur Man.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah. 70 greatness, yes. And then again, since we're going to be doing our movie, the No Way Home movie review later on in December, and then the Thwippies at the end of the month. That's right. You get the December Scarlet Spider episode in 2 weeks, kids. When you hear this in 2 weeks, so
exactly. Yeah, that'll be fun. I can't believe we're at the end of the year already.
I know. So yeah. So oh wait, did I close that? Oh. Going to pull that up. Yeah, so next time on the Pimpcast, we're going to be I can't believe I closed out that. Yeah, here we go. So next time on the Pimpcast, we'll be talking the Return of Spider-Man Part 2 from Spider-Man 64, Spectacular Spider-Man 230, and Spider-Man Unlimited number 11.
Oh, I love those Unlimiteds.
Oh yeah. This Unlimited. That's Ben Riley meets Felicia Hardy.
Oh
yes.
Oh, she should be able to send something, I'm sure. You know.
Oh, she kind of knows already. So.
Yeah.
All right. See, look at that. All I had to say is Felicia Hardy and Ray's all
sex on the mind.
All right, kids. So yeah, so send your thoughts again. Scarlet Pimps in another 2 weeks, and then No Way Home. Send us your thoughts on that and the Thwippies. I'm still going to put up those categories. So don't let Ray be the only one sending comments. So
come on, get him in
for every category and say Spider-Woman. I mean, I love the book myself, but not every category, Ray. Come on.
Well, now it'll be Spider-Woman, and there'll be a fair bit of Scarlet Spider in there as well. Don't worry.
Good. Me and Lilith are like, man, he's on Carla's payroll.
Yeah.
All right. So, send your thoughts, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Go join our Web of Spider-Man Facebook fan group, now at 2.6 thousand members.
Oh my gosh, very good. Very good.
I know.
So we got to hear from you guys. Come on.
Exactly. Send us. Come on, kids. I post these links in that group too. So come on. We want to hear your feedback.
Absolutely.
Me in the Hawaiian shirt. Want to hear your thoughts. All right. So find links to all that and all the social medias and all the Facebook groups for everything we do. Links to the YouTube channel. Do you want to know what that handsome Devil Ray looks like? You must.
You don't want to. Avert your eyes. Blinding like Scarlet Spider's light.
only second in looks to that sex on his stick himself, Matt Kona. So yes, subscribe to the YouTube, but most importantly, please, if you can, subscribe to the Patreon. We don't have the On Corporation behind us anymore, so every little bit helps. Be a patron like Ray here himself or Justin.
Plenty of there are incentives, bonus episodes. I mean, only available on the Patreon. So get in there. Like really good interviews that Phil and Lilith have done. So yeah, if you want to listen to them, just check out Patreon. Patreon.com. What is the /
Capes and Lunatics?
Capes and Lunatics. Too easy.
So Kelly Thompson's on there right now talking to the current Spider-Man stuff. We just did another Chichester chat for November.
304, right?
Yeah,
Daredevil 304.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful issue. Beautiful issue.
Yeah, and then in December, when you our Chichester chat's going to be Wolverine 58 and 59 that he guest wrote with Wolverine, Jubilee, and Terror.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Yeah.
I just completed my Terra Inc. Series. Really, so I'm looking forward to doing a reread through again and re-listening to your chat with DG Chichester.
But yeah, dude, read that Wolverine 58 and 59, man. Terror and Wolverine.
Oh, such a cool character. Yeah.
So find links to all that. We're going to be doing superhero movie brackets in 2022, where we take two bad movies and compare them until we get to the worst superhero movie of all time. I cannot wait for the battle of Lilith and Charlie for Superman 3 versus Superman 4.
Oh my god. Does Lilith like 4?
Yeah, well, I mean, at least definitely more than 3. So,
more than 3, okay. Yeah.
Can we have
I don't know.
Fight?
Yeah.
All right. So find links to all of that or merchandise. Get yourself some merch, cups. We got a new store, so we got. I think the cups are bigger. T-shirts, phone cases, all of it and more. I think coming soon. So find everything at Linktree linktr.ee/capes and lunatics. All right, Ray. I think you do some podcasts.
Yes.
What are those? Take 10 minutes and tell us all your podcasts.
No, not at all. Best way to contact me and the shows on Twitter at ReyRey Pod, ReyRey Pod. Basking in the glory of the attention that Moon Knight's getting at the moment with Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. Fantastic teaser dropped not that long ago on the Disney Plus Day, but also the latest comic book by Jed McKay. So we're having a ball over there. Jump on there if you want to learn more about the character. Spider-Woman, to know her is to fear her. The Spider-Woman podcast, there with Saren. It's a monthly podcast, but we're going through the Carla Pacheco Pere run at the moment, volume 7. It's fantastic. And as Phil alluded to before, it's out of the park. Brilliant. So check out that series and drop in and hear us spout how good it is. And finally, Last Sons of Krypton Superman podcast. It's a bi-weekly one. I'm there with Connor L. I am Ray Zod. And we just go through Superman. Old, new, not future, but anything Superman. So check it all out. ReyRey Pod. It's on Twitter. It's a lot of meat.
But yes, I mean, guys, again, I'll toot Ray's horn now. I mean, Moon Knight, you guys did a interview with Jed McKay. Spider-Woman, you guys talked to Carla, seems like on a somewhat regular basis. So, if you guys love those series or want to get into them, I mean, Ray's a one-stop shop for all these.
Yeah, I was just very, very blessed with having such really laid-back, cool creators who are willing to come on, similar to a lot of your guests as well, Phil. So, if you want to hear your creators, your favorite creators, jump on.
So, and you have Patreon accounts also, don't you?
Oh, yeah, patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight for the Moon Knight one. Going really well there. Thank you so much, everyone. Also, Spider-Woman, patreon.com/Spider-Woman Pod, and Last Sons of Krypton, patreon.com/LSK podcast. Go check it out. It was just a really nice package.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
What a follow-up.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan. I blew that.
Sorry, Will.
Will, dear me.
Well, all right. All right, kids. Thank you for joining us again in 1 week. Amazing Spider-Man 165 and 166 with Will Hellfire. And then in 2 weeks, Ray is back for the Return of Spider-Man Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then the rest of the rest of the year is with movie reviews and flippies. So,
flippies.
Swing on back.
Whip. Splash.